All right. So I wanted to talk about the power of the fourth quarter because obviously we are in the last bit of 2018 and we have a massive launch actually going down December 4th. Like Shaun T's program is just it's going to be huge. That's all I can really say is that it's Shaun T. This is 20 minutes long, so he's accomplishing something. Yes, like we have the 22-minute hardcore, but not all the workouts were 22 minutes. And yes, he did a 25-minute workout, but I'm telling you, this looks insane. It looks awesome. People are going to be hyped up about it. So now is the time to be talking about it if it's not being talked about. So just saying that. But right now is really a big thing too about laying the foundation for the rest of the year, because what happens January 1st? Every single person's like, hey, I want to lose weight. Well, mostly, right? Mostly people are pumped up. They're ready to start losing weight. So this is really a big time to take advantage of the business opportunity. And most people will be like, well, people aren't going to join because, X, Y, and Z. Well, no, now is really the time to get people to join the team because, like I said, come time in January, everybody's wanting to get healthy and fit. And so you have that knowledge of where people, I don't want to say that they don't have that knowledge, but they're not really thinking about it that way. They're not really aware of, oh, I could actually be getting in the best shape of my life and people are going to be watching me, and come time January, everybody's going to be coming to me. So in order for this to work, you've got to believe. And it was something that was so powerful. I posted it on my Facebook today, but I've been engulfed in personal development and into reading the Bible, to doing sermons and everything else, because for this last week, I don't even want to say the last week, last few days, it's been like attack, or I don't even want to say attack, but let's just say I know when my body is like, Ashton, or my mind starts to break down on me, right? It's that wonderful time. So my mind starts to get all discombobulated, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like all these negative thoughts that just come up, okay? And negative thoughts are like this Velcro in our brain, right? Like it just sticks into our mind, and it's so hard to rip them off. Whereas positive thoughts have to be continuously put in and put in and put in and put in. And even then it seems like they slip away pretty easy. Like they're like oiled up and stuff. So it's important that we understand this, and it's important that we know, but I'm quickly going to hit on this because I think when you really start to grasp this is that when we are working harder on ourselves than we are in our business, that's when we start to see a major growth in our business. When we start to realize that, this is where a huge battle is in our mind. And I'm just going to say a few things here, because this sermon that I've been listening to, it talked about how you cannot live above your revelation. So it's completely impossible for you to live past what you believe, if that makes sense. So for instance, if you're on like a racetrack, we'll call it a racetrack, whatever. If you only believe that you can make it to, okay, we'll just say I'm on a map. I'm going to head down to Florida, but I only believe that I can make it to Tennessee. So if I only believe I can make it here, I'm not going to be able to go past that if I don't believe that I can't. So does that make sense? Like what we believe is so powerful and so important. And that's where people talk about the words of affirmation or the declarations, which that's what Rachel Luna has been calling them, is don't even give yourself words of affirmation. You start to declare it over your life. It's in the Bible. That's where all this has come from. I don't care if you're a believer or not. If you don't understand that the mind is the huge process of everything, and if you can really start to rewire it, because there's actually scientifically proven, you'd have to look at it. But when you start to change your processing, your thought processing, your brain actually makes new pathways, it's neurons or something. Don't like quote me on what they're all called and the whole scientific process behind it, but it really does start to make new pathways. And then when you're constantly like, yeah, I'm a 6-7 figure earner a year with this business, when you start to speak those things over and over, you're starting this whole new process, but you also have to bring that belief in. And that's why we battle and struggle. And we talked about, he was sitting there talking about how our mind is our control center. And if you are a believer, you know that we're a mind, we are a body, and we are a soul. We are a mind, spirit, and then body. Okay, so your mind and your soul are the same thing. And then your spirit and your flesh. Well, your spirit and your flesh, they desire things. Your flesh and your spirit desire things. And your mind is the control center of it all. So whatever controls your mind that's the decision of your life. And do you know what the mind can do? It's crazy, because the mind can only remember or imagine. So we need to start imagining that we are, and declaring that we are bold leaders, that we are running a business of helping other people, that people see the light in you and the leadership in you, that they want to work with you. When you start declaring these things over and over every single day, you all of a sudden you just start acting upon it, and you'll start to notice people starting to flood into you. So I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody's sitting here listening to this and you're like, well, I just don't believe that's me, I can't make 6 figures a year with this business, then you're never going to do it. You'll never surpass the level of your belief. You just won't. So it's important. So anyways, okay. Number one, I would say that with this 4th quarter, obviously you should be reaching back out to every single person that you talked about coaching and explaining to them, breaking this down, being like, hey, listen here. Let me see if I have let me look at my notes here. Okay, so I'd say something along the lines of, all right, I want to read this, but I might want to switch it around here. So it says, hey, I'm sure you've been wondering what I wanted to talk to you about. So this is if you're going to them and just you're reconnecting with them and being like, hey, by the way, would you mind if we can talk? Or by the way, I've been meaning to ask you something. I'm not sure if you know this, but we've got a mass amount of people that want to get healthy and fit coming time January 1st. And I'm looking for people who want to partner with me, who would be interested in building a business or in a business opportunity. And then you say, would you be willing to check X, Y, and Z out? Or would you be able, if I provide you with X, Y, Z, would you be able to X, Y, Z? I'm not going to get in huge depth into all these notes and everything, but honestly, if you start going to people and you're like, reconnecting with them, obviously getting in contact with anybody who's done Shaun T programs, anybody who's said no to you, this is really the time to actually follow up with them, because asking them how I've been going to people and I've been asking them like, oh, hey, how's your year been going? Have you been accomplishing your goals? X, Y, Z, da, 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 da. And people more than likely are not doing it. More than likely you talked to them 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 2 years ago, and they still haven't made a difference in their life. And in all reality, I think the biggest reason why we continue, and you know what, we go through battles, we go through struggles. Like I've been in this whole, I've just been kind of stuck where I am with my health and fitness journey. And I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to get back to where I was before I had Christian. But I mean, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. And I'm going to find something that's just going to be like, bam, I just need a chef. That's all I need. That's really honestly all I need, for real. That's probably my biggest problem. I just need a chef. I don't mind eating healthy. I don't mind any of that. The whole cooking process, it's not my jam. It's not my jam. Totally not my jam. Workouts, whatever. I some days I battle in doing them, but the whole cooking, no, not my thing. So anyways, on the real though, the biggest key to why we continue to progress in our journey and why we don't stop after maybe losing 20 pounds, because when I think about when I first started in this journey, I had a goal. So I was 230, was it 236 or 238? I was 236 pounds and my goal was to get to 160. That was my goal. Okay. And if I'm at 157 right now, 156, I'm like right in there. My goal was to get to 160. I thought that if I got to 160, that was like the impossible of the impossible of the impossible. Like I was for sure like, okay, sweet. And you know what? I took it on bit by bit by bit by bit. And it was always like there was getting under that 200 mark was a battle. And then getting under the 180 mark was a battle. And then I got underneath the 160. I all of a sudden was like, oh, like I can actually do more than that. Like I can actually be healthier than I am, because my belief system was not past that. My belief system was I was at the 160. I could only get the 160. And sometimes that happens in our journey as well with our business, right? Like we're like, yeah, I want a 6-figure business. I'd love a 6-figure year business with this. But I mean, then you at least need to start believing in who you are. And you need to at least start believing in what you're good at. Are you good at making people feel great? What are your talents? What are your gifts? And start acting upon those. And you'll start to see that as you are taking care of people and you are serving them, that you start to increase. And then you start to grow in the other areas too. Like, okay, I'm not really great with talking, or I'm not really great with following up, or I'm not great at like sending out XYZ or whatever it may be. Then figure out a way to make that happen. Figure out a way to grow and expand. And that comes with the personal development. So a big key in why we keep progressing is being a part of this business. I think makes a big difference. And so there's either one of two things. Number one, I'm trying to bring in more personal development with my challengers as soon as they come in. Why? Because I know that if they can start to take steps in their health and fitness journey, but yet I can still have them start to like challenge them to start listening to a podcast, or challenge them to start listening to something. Even if I'm sending them a $5 like Audible gift card, if they have that, or Amazon gift card, like, hey, use this towards a purchase of an Audible or book, or I'm not sure how that works. But then if they're starting to take the steps in their health and fitness journey and they're starting to retrain their brain, for one, it's probably going to be a lot easier for them to accomplish their goal. Two, it's going to install different things into them, which is going to help them grow even further than they ever thought that they could. So number one, like I said, I'm trying to bring that more into my challengers versus just into the coaches. And I think I need to really, really get on top of the coaches and in the team, like, hey, because that's where I'm like, if I ask somebody if they're struggling, my number one question is going to be, are you doing personal development on a consistent basis every single day for at least 10 to 15 minutes a day, or like 10 pages? And if the first question that I ask them is a no, that's the number one thing that I'm going to be like, well, there you go. And then my next question would be, are you doing a power hour, or are you following a BAT, which would include your personal development on there with our new business activity trackers that we have. So if those two things are not being met, honestly, I could just say, are you doing your BAT? Because then that would include the personal development. And if those things are not being done on a consistent basis, then yeah, you're going to have a hard time accomplishing what it is that you want to accomplish. So number one, belief system. You need to start envisioning, you need to start declaring, and it's going to come from you learning and growing with personal development. Number two, going into making sure that you're doing a business activity tracker. And for this fourth quarter, the whole thing that I want to talk about, but obviously God kind of directed me in a different way, is making sure that you are following up with every single person that you've talked to, making sure that you're really even getting out there to the people that you haven't talked to, and just seriously, I should start playing some of my voice messages, because I don't bullcrap people. I'm not here to sit there. I'm like, listen, this is $140. Let me break this down for you. And you know what? This is the cheapest that it's at. And you know what you're getting? And I'm like, oh, and by the way, you're also getting me that can work with you one-on-one and everything. And my time, I'm free. I'm absolutely free. And people know that if they want my time, well, that is, with the value that I add to people, they know that that's a huge thing. Why I'm not at Success Club 50 this month, I have no idea, but I'll figure that out. You know, and honestly, I don't even want to be at high numbers for Success Club, but I want to make it a point to at least help 5 people, because there's a few reasons here. 5 people new a month is a great amount for me to help, 3 to 5 people, because I know I've got a lot of things on my plate, and I don't want to just get people on here and have them not do it. However, I've had people come and get things, and then all of a sudden I'm like asking them, how's it going? How's it going? And they're not really doing it. And I can't, you guys have to also make sure that you're lifting that off of your shoulders, because that's not on your part. But I also know that will help if you have 5 people a month sign up, you're at Success Club 10, which gets you leads, which gets you a part of going on a cruise or a trip with Success Club. So there's a lot of things that come with that. And can you imagine the impact that you make on 5 lives every single month? That's how many people in a year that you're impacting, right? So anyways, that's the big thing that I'm going to say, is to get in contact, make sure that you are following up with every single person, because this launch is huge. So if you're not an Emerald coach, or you're not Ruby or Diamond, this is where you get a hold of people and you strictly let them know, hey, there's going to be a mass amount of people wanting to get healthy and fit in January. I know that you want to work on your health and fitness, and I also know that you would love to grow an extra income, or you would love to X, Y, and Z and everything, but, or that you don't want to put but in there. So I'm asking if you would partner with me. That way I can help you work on your health and fitness, and also help you grow a side income, or help you grow that full-time income, because you're going to have people coming at you come time January 1st. But we need to start you now. We need to get you started and doing your workouts now. We need to start you on, okay, so Thanksgiving, this is where you can get a hold of people and be like, Thanksgiving, once Thanksgiving's done, yes, it's December and holiday, Christmas is coming up and this and that and da-da-da-da. But listen to me, 3 weeks, 3-week program. And guess what? You can lose up to 10 pounds in 3 weeks. People can get the 3-day refresh, and in 3 days, they've made some sort of a transformation. That's huge. They can do a week program and really buckle down on their nutrition. And then what happens? They're starting to share how they feel. They're starting to share how mentally they're transforming, physically how they're transforming. And that's when people are going to come to you and they're going to be like, hey, I've been seeing that over one of the hardest times of the month, December, and you're doing this. So I want to get started with you. So anyways, all right. That's all I really want to talk about. I don't want to get into any more huge depth about things, but I'm telling you right now that following up with people, really letting them know that you're here to help them, really letting them know that, and again, it's your belief system. If you're like, well, I'm not where I want to be at. Well, I'm not, like, I haven't accomplished this, or well, I haven't made a paycheck in 5 weeks or whatever. This has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you. What this has to do with is where your belief system is at, where you're envisioning that you're going to go, and then sharing with people. And the more that you actually share the vision of what you're trying to accomplish with this business, the more you start to believe it, and the more people are like, well, I want to do this too. They start to adapt that vision. So if you're speaking like, yeah, I'm going to be making 6-7 figures a year. And you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to fund X, Y, and Z. I'm going to fund this. I'm going to go share with this, because you know what? I'm not only am I helping people through this business, but I'm also going to use the finances that I have coming in to help other people. Why? Because that's what I would do. I'm not a girl of things. Yes, I want a house that has each of us for our own bedrooms and stuff like that. But other than, no, like, I don't need big fancy yachts and all that crap, and totally not. My vision would be to start creating some sort of a school system and bringing in a life skills class. So that way it's being funded at first in the county that I'm living in. And then once there's success there, that it's going, or maybe even in my state. And then once there's success in that, then it's going to start to transpire around the United States. Because I feel that I think it would change, totally change. Like I said, I think personal development and stuff is huge. So anyways, if there's any questions, let me know. Other than that, like I said, this launch is huge. I know for me, I need to get my food down ASAP. So I'm going to have to text Holly and have her like be up on me on my food, and then just stay focused on this. But all right. I love you. I hope that you have a blessed night. And I will, when is the Shaun T launching? So Shaun T, if there was a video that I posted in the team page, there was a training on it just yesterday. I think the video is like 50 minutes long, but you can kind of skim through it because it will tell you like the different packs, how much the packs cost, or depending on if they want to step or if they don't want to step. If they have the BOD or not. But pretty much December 4th is when the packs go on sale. And then from there, January 11th is when the workouts are available for those that have like the early access. So if they purchase one of the packs, or they can purchase just the early access, then that will be available on January 11th. And then January 14th is when Shaun T's actual coach test group starts. So for anyone who is a Shaun T fanatic too, like that's huge to be like, hey, let's get in on this, And then for people who don't purchase it, then that comes out April. I want to say it's April, like maybe it's March 4th. I know I have it written down. And then there's also something going on about Super Saturday. So I think there's an extra like special workout that he did for Super Saturday. So I don't know if it's something that they're going to do it there or whatnot. So definitely check it out. I kind of just went and skimmed through because I wanted to know this and that. So if you want more details and everything too, you can check that video out. But yeah, so now is the time to reach out to people. And other than that, if there's no questions, I'll let that go and you guys can have a good night. Awesome.